In my entire 35-year rabbinical career, I do not recall a time when so many people are in such distress, filled with apprehension, vexation, frustration, and exasperation. I'm taken aback by the number of Jews I've spoken with in the past weeks who have shared with me that they and their circle of friends are investigating acquiring foreign passports, just in case. They're beginning to hear those eerie echoes of Europe, the haunting howls of hatred that brought our ancestors to these shores in the first place. It's not only the unrelenting trauma of October 7th and the resurgence of anti-Semitism that disrupts our equilibrium. It's also the breakneck speed of feverish change in our country. Some with whom I have spoken are pleased with the new direction. They think it will lead to a better, fairer, wealthier country. Most, however, at least in our congregation and within the Jewish community, are deeply concerned, not only about the many specific policies and executive actions, but about the very soul of America. They worry that the foundational principles upon which this country was founded and made it the last best hope of earth are being ripped asunder. And then, of course, there are more parochial concerns. Have you checked your 401k recently? I can tell you that we are uniquely anxious nowadays, and I know that that's the case, by the number of congregants who have asked me to address everything from Ukraine, Israel, Hamas, Netanyahu, Trump, tariffs, universities, civil liberties, immigrants, due process, government competence, and even law firms. These are all important topics, and I will no doubt get to many of these in the coming months. But tonight, a week before Passover, I want to remind you of Judaism's greatest teachings and to urge you to take its centuries-old wisdom to heart. Discuss these matters around your Seder table with your family and friends. Despair is a human emotion, but to wallow in despair is not Jewish. The Jewish way is to identify the problems of the world and to help fix them. בכל דור ודור חייב אדם לראות את עצמו כאילו הוא יצא ממצרים. In every generation, one must see themselves as if they were personally redeemed from Egypt, and that therefore they are personally responsible for fixing what is broken. We are not required to finish the task, according to our sages, but neither are we free to desist. From the very first passages in the Bible, Judaism insisted we are our brother's keepers. We are accountable to each other, and we must act to create a better world. And it is through the doing that we begin to heal our own shattered spirit, to overcome this sense of helplessness and powerlessness. Doing empowers us. Action engages us. We find in ourselves strength that we did not know that we possessed. We find partners, like-minded people who support us and hold us up. Through the work of repair, we ourselves are repaired. Action is the antidote to despondency and to despair. It is the way to relieve anxiety. Do something. Many religious and secular philosophies urge acceptance. Suffering and injustice are the way of the world, built into the very fabric of human life, they contend, and the world is irredeemable. Religious people call it the will of God, and secular philosophies call it the way of nature, chaotic, haphazard, and with no rhyme or reason. So we should just sit back and accept whatever comes our way with the greatest possible equanimity. For believers, what counts is not this world, but the world to come. For non-believers, we're all going to die anyway. So focus on yourself. At least while I live, I'll be happy. Let those other sorry souls suffer. This is not Judaism. Of course, we believe in eternality, that there is more to our lives than what we see. The body dies, the spirit lives on with God. But we do not spend most of our time speculating about the world to come. We focus on this world. There are mitzvahs to do, daily commandments that require engagement with others and with the many details of our own personal lives. We do not worship weakness in Judaism. We do not glorify poverty. We do not venerate hardship. We do not claim victimhood. We are an optimistic people. We pick ourselves up from the valley of despair to walk again. We kvetch a lot. But if you look more deeply and you really understand the Jewish soul, our complaints reflect our commitment to the future, our belief that we can do better. Human beings do not need to be so miserable. Judaism advanced the concept of Messiah. It originated with us. But Jews do not await the arrival of a Redeemer. We force the Messiah to arrive through daily acts of repair. Salvation comes not through a Savior. The Savior comes through salvation. The Messiah will arrive only after we have prepared the world for the Messiah's arrival. As Franz Kafka wrote with such profound Jewish sensibilities, the Messiah will come only after it is no longer necessary. He will come the day after his arrival. At the beginning of Judaism, the first passages describing the creation of the universe and humankind, we read in the Torah, Vayikra Adonai Elohim el ha'adam vayomer lo ayeka. And God called out to Adam after eating the forbidden fruit, Ayeka, where are you? I was afraid, Adam responded. Ayeka, where are you? This is Judaism's challenge to each of us. Where are you? What are you doing? Even when you're afraid. So if you are upset and worried about developments in our country and the world, my advice to you is to rouse yourself out of this stupor so many of us have fallen into and work to make change. Everything counts. Everything matters. Everything can make a difference. Maimonides taught that we should see the world as evenly balanced between good and evil, so that our next act may change both the balance of our lives and the balance of the world. We never know what we may say or do that will change a life or change a mind. And even if we have made little difference, at least we will have tried. Trying is what Judaism expects. It will empower you. Get active. Find people who agree with you and work, work, work You can join one of our new groups that we formed last month here in the synagogue and meet fellow congregants to debate policies and potential responses. If you've not seen the announcement, contact Rabbi Natov. You can tell her tonight when you see her. She and I will both attend these meetings. Persistence, defiance, tenacity. These are Jewish characteristics. We seek meaning, purpose, and joy in the world as it is, and ceaselessly work to create a better world. The meaning of life is a life of meaning. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. The energy of life is a life of energy. Commitment to life is a life of commitment. Devotion to life is a life of devotion. The promise of life is a life of promise. We do not seek salvation through the worship of false gods. We do not seek escape. We do not seek, nor do we expect, a challenge-free world. We do not seek to empty challenge from our lives, but to challenge the emptiness of life. Not to escape struggle, but to struggle with escapism. At its core, religion is about urging finite human beings to search and yearn for the infinite. It is about our quest for understanding and significance. This week's Torah portion, the first in the book of Leviticus, is called Vayikra. That Hebrew word, Vayikra, means to be called. Vayikra el Moshe, and God called out to Moses. What is your calling? What is your purpose? What people who feel called really dread is a life without consequence. We have lived having done nothing for others and leaving nothing behind. What people who feel really called dread is that our fears and anxieties will paralyze us into inaction, causing us to lose our pride. The poet W.H. Auden wrote, "The mass and majesty of this world lay in the hands of others. They were small and could not hope for help, and no help came. What their foes liked to do was done. They lost their pride and died as men before their bodies died. To see the injustices of the world and to do nothing, to check out, is to die before our bodies die. Action, purpose, determination, tenacity. These are ways of ensuring that our souls remain vital, vibrant, and alive." Parshat Vayikra contains this verse: Adam ki akriv mikem korban ladonai, mina be'ema, mina bakar, umina tzon, takrivu et korbanchem. A person who brings an offering to God may bring from his livestock, from the herd, or from the flock. Thus shall you make the offering. Our sages noticed that this verse begins in the singular and ends in the plural. When a person brings an offering, he shall do so from an animal in his flock, and thus shall you, the community, offer sacrifices. And the rabbis explain, when even one singular person makes a sacrifice for justice and goodness, many other people benefit from his sacrifice. What began as an effort to repair himself ends with an effort to repair the world.